Good evening and welcome to another edition of Awaken the World. My name is Garen, for those who don't know me. And tonight we're going to speak about the now, the present moment, and present moment awareness. Now, the now is all we truly have. And the now is this moment. Nope, it's this moment. No, it's this moment. No, it's this. No, it's. That's the problem with the now. It really doesn't stick around for any length of time. And yet, it always is. The present moment is all that truly exists, and time is an illusion. And if you're already feeling the beginnings of a migraine at this point, you should go and watch the video relating to time and speaking about the fact that it's illusion first, and then come back to this and it'll make a little more sense. And you can find that in our YouTube channel, Awaken the World, or on our Facebook page or group. So let's get right on to the now and try and stay present. Life is not a continuum of then, the past, to now, and then some, future date. It is not a straight line. Life is a never-ending moment. A singular point. A singular point in space-time. And within this singular point, the ego cannot survive. In this singular point, being totally present, the only thing there is awareness. No thought, simply silence. In that moment, there can be no problems. There can be no difficulties. There can be no pain. There can be no suffering. It's just the moment. Pregnant with awareness. Fully present. Right now. Now, I know that seems to sound like an impossible thing and that it's something you'll never experience. But trust me, you experience it on a regular basis. You're just not aware of it most times. And I'm going to give you an example right now. Have you ever witnessed an amazing sunset where the view inspired such awe in you that your mind couldn't find the words, so it went silent? And in that moment, time ceased to exist for you. The sunset and you were no longer separate. You were both the experience and the experiencer at the same time. And it left you with a vibration when you were done watching it. That's only one example, but it happens to you on a regular basis. And what you have to do is get used to finding those moments and start to widen the crack a little bit. Within the now, as I said, ego is silent. And why is this important? Because ego must always apply a past reference in order to understand what it sees currently before it. It is a comparison machine. You see, the ego cannot absorb something new. It requires a frame of reference, and that frame of reference is always the past. It's always past experience, something it's read in the past, something it's absorbed in the past, but always from the past. The ego compares what is currently happening to what a past similar experience was, and then takes the same actions, thinks the same thoughts, feels the same things. It does not process the current situation independent of past experience. And this is, again, where all our so-called troubles start. So how do we as beings possessed by ego begin to interface with the illusion in such a way that the real can become evident in our existence, independent of that past experience? Well, the answer, of course, are the three words that drives my wife crazy. Awareness, awareness, awareness. One word, 3 times. And this is how I answer a lot of her questions. because it is the answer. Uh, and if you look at the blog article, I even wrote it 3 times in a row there too, okay? If we wish to experience the bliss and the peace of the present moment, we must seek awareness, not thought. Awareness lies beyond thought. And you can think of it as the capacity that you have to recognize that thought is occurring. You are the observer, that which hears the thought, and yet makes no comment on the thought. And yet the intention of the observer, it does not need words for the intention to be manifest through the ego into the physical realm. All the time in our existence, our higher self, which is what we truly are, okay, not the lower self, the ego, is guiding, is giving gentle little shoves. Never past free will. There's nothing forced. And there is no wrong move. So that which you truly are doesn't make comment. Because ultimately it knows everything's just fine. In this present moment, the awareness that we are not that ego speak, that voice in our heads allows us to see in a different way. We, instead of becoming unconscious as the ego begins to babble on about what needs to be said, what needs to be done, which of course relates to the past, our ability to stop, even for a brief moment in time, and cast pure awareness on the egoic thought processes going on in our heads, we can actually catch and stop that chain and allow what is to reveal its isness to us in the present moment. And I'm going to bring up another example from my wife. I'm sure the poor woman feels like I've got it in for her. She's laughing over there in the corner, reading her book. But the truth of it is I mean, that's why I'm doing these videos. I'm getting really tired of repeating myself, so as soon as I get a big enough list, I'm just going to go, honey, go listen to number 29 again. Oh man, it's the doghouse for me, and it's going to be minus 22 out tonight. Maybe a little bit frozen in the morning. Where was I? Oh yes, the example of my wife. So this is going back roughly a month now, but we're in the local health store ran by a friend of ours. She's a beautiful young lady who runs a very soft-spoken, sweet girl. She says she was quite a rebel when she was young, and both my wife and I have a real hard time believing that because you don't look at her and think that there's rebel in there. But anyways, so we're there visiting, and I'm speaking with Kathy, who's the store owner, and another woman is in the store and says hi to my wife. And my wife's reaction, I could tell right away that there's something up because her whole energy field just kind of froze solid. There was like an instant wall. It wasn't a solid brick wall, but it was certainly a thick, almost impossible to see through wall. There was a little bit of opaqueness to it, but not much. And that's the only way I can describe what I felt energetically. And the woman smiled, and I could tell that there was something behind her as well energetically. There was a hesitancy in her. So the two of them had a polite little exchange, and we were on our merry way. And when we got into the car, my wife explained to me that the woman was the head of the music association that had to kick her ass out of it, my wife's butt out of it, excuse the bad language, because my wife's husband at the time was convicted of pedophilia, and she could no longer have children coming in the house to teach piano to. Now, when my wife relayed the story, everything became crystal clear to me. Because what I had seen as an energetic exchange now made sense in the egoic realm of thought and illusion. So this is what I said to my wife. I said, you know, if you would have simply opened yourself up instead of closed yourself off right away to this person, you would have found that indeed it was her who was still carrying some guilt, some feeling that somehow what she had done, what she had to do, she didn't want to do. That's what I felt from her at an energetic level. And my wife had the opportunity to not only heal the issue within her, but also heal her own issue over this. And she blew it. There's really no other way to put it. And you know what? That's okay. Lesson learned. We discussed it. We talked about why it happened and what happens when we allow, as we're just talking about right now, our present moment experience to be ruled by the past moment experience, which no longer exists. And this is hard to fight. If you have problems with family members, for example, and these problems are ongoing and you're at each other's throats, the next time you see that person, it is incredibly difficult to see them as they are right then and there, which means you don't know anymore because they're new. But we don't see them as new. I'm guilty of doing that too. My wife's ex, I've already told them, you know, don't come to my door with the smiley fake face. If you want to come and be real, I'm here. But otherwise, I'm not interested. I don't play those sort of games anymore. And I got to tell you, I have a real difficulty seeing him as fresh every time. But I really do make the attempt. I try to. It is a battle of sorts that goes on inside of you. But if you're aware of it, it's not a battle. It's more a case of awareness, which does not fight, but instead simply engulfs it in the love of its awareness, the energy transmuting capabilities of that awareness, to take that negative energy, that negative thought form, and turn it into something beautiful again. Contrary to what many may say, developing awareness is not a difficult task. As I said at the beginning of the video, whether you're consciously aware of it or not, you are having moments of fully present moment awareness. You're usually not aware of them. And I know that sounds like a strange dichotomy, but don't kid yourself. It actually does happen to you. There's a difference when you're consciously aware of it, though. You have the opportunity to expand that moment, to grow that moment, to grow that silence. And we have to be clear, you know, this came up yesterday with my wife. She was talking about a meditative place, and she says, you know, I love to go to my meditative place. It's you know, an island surrounded by ocean. It's in a tree house, whatever the case may be. But, you know, she's alone with only certain people there. And I said to her, I said, you know, so you have to be very vigilant. I'm having major mouth mumbles. My words are getting mixed up. I can't proctocally. Hold on, I have to go find some weed to smoke. I'm sure that'll straighten everything up. By the way, it's going to be legal in Canada here this summer, apparently. It should be really interesting to see. Back to this, okay. When we're going to work on establishing awareness within ourselves and becoming more aware, this is not a fight against ego. We have to be clear with that. It is not a fight. We are working with a mentally disturbed, sick roommate who we desperately need and we love. And they love us. And we can deal with them. Now is our journey. We are on this journey whether we're aware of it or not. We are on a journey of evolution, and that evolution is manifest in the physical world, but it starts in the infinite sea of consciousness that we truly are. Now is the time. I'm inviting you, if you wish, to come to our Facebook group, to come to our Facebook page, come to the website. We have a great little 4-page course that'll really help with staying present. And don't kid yourself, the course is only 4 pages long, but like everything else in life, it's simple. It's only the ego that makes things complicated. I invite you to try the course for yourself. Communicate with me. We'll work through it together. There's a great, fantastic group already building, the Awaken the World group, and that will be a place where you can come to share and grow and spread awareness through yourself, through your families, and through those around you, because that is what will change our world. Not any external actions, but new thoughts, new perceptions, and new awareness, conscious awareness. That's really about it for this evening. Again, it's been a wonderful time, and I am so happy I may serve those who take advantage of these and find benefit in them. It is the only gift I have to offer you, and I offer it from my deepest heart. My love to you, and namaste.